Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wellness Today. I'm your host, Tracey Gonzalez, a licensed clinical social worker in the greater Danbury area, and I, once again, am excited to come to you today with a fantastic guest. You're going to love her. You know that we meet each week, we come together, we talk on wellness, covering spirit, soul, and body. And today, I truly believe that everything that we talk about today is interconnected. My guest, Judith Maros, is a licensed marriage and family therapist. She has a private practice in Richfield, Connecticut, and she is, the founding president of the Association of Authenticity Therapy in Hungary, in Europe. We are in for a treat. She is also an international trainer of psychotherapists, so she is well qualified to talk to us today on the subject of self-love. She is going to tell us a little bit about the 4-step method to ensure that we treat ourselves with the attention, respect, and compassion that we deserve. And I just want you to help me to welcome my guest, Judith. Welcome to our show today. I'm so happy to have you here today. And you know what? We don't have a whole lot of time because I could tell just by talking to you before the show that we could talk for hours on this subject. You've written a book called The Apple of My Eye. Excellent title. Totally fits the book. I enjoyed reading it over the last
myself, yep.
I myself, right?
Yeah.
I, not E-Y-E,
Right.
but I, talking about us, ourselves. Judith, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, your journey, self-love. You take over. Our viewers want to hear from you.
Sure. So thank you for inviting me, Tracey. This is so fun. So, well, I've been a psychotherapist for 26 years, and basically, to make a long story short, I was just doing my thing like we all do and it was working until one day a colleague asked me, so what's your angle in therapy? And I couldn't answer, and I said, I don't know, but it works. And then I was so ashamed of myself for not being able to articulate really why what I was doing was working. I started to observe and take notes in every session, and I asked every one of my clients, how come you're feeling better this week? How come? And I wrote it all down, and I had stacks of yellow sticky notes on my desk. And after a while, when they were collapsing, I would chisel them down into common denominators. I was just looking for how come? What really helping? I know I'm beautiful, but I know that's not it, I know that's not it.
What you're saying right now is helping a whole bunch of counselors and therapists that are out there listening that are looking for their niche. So, this is very good what you're saying here. Go ahead.
So I was just looking for any common denominators because I was certain, that's all I did. I was diligent and I had faith that there must be an underlying pattern, like common principles, underlying principles that really help people to be well, not just emotionally, as it turns out, but also physically in every way, in relationships in every way. And what emerged in the span of 7 years in this work is that it's self-love. It's really, and even more specifically, four specific practices that give you the message from yourself that you care about yourself in a way that works.
Okay, let's hear more about that. That's good.
So this was a surprise to me. Most of this was I didn't expect a lot of this. One of the things that came out of this is that we are animals. I knew that, I kind of knew that, but I didn't really, in the sense that we are part of nature. We are part of all that is. And we are hardwired to survive and thrive. And the way nature or God or whatever you might want to call that profound intelligence that we are steeped in and that we also represent, is that every cell in our body, in our whole being, is hardwired for survival. It wants to live. And it wants to live no matter what we think of it. You know,
Excellent, excellent.
No matter what others think of it.
Right.
No matter what the expectations.
Right.
When you're hungry, no matter what you think of it, no matter what others think of it, it's the truth.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So nature hardwired us to feel the way we feel in order to get our attention when we feel uncomfortable,
Okay.
so that we may align our thoughts and actions with that and do what it takes to be well.
Very good.
That's self-care.
Yes.
That's what I
Yes.
call self-love, because
Yes.
that's what you would do for somebody else, somebody you
Yes.
love, even for somebody you don't love.
Yes.
You would
Yes.
just do that out of decency, you know? You see somebody who's a destitute person, you can tell that they are in dire straits, you give them something, you help them out,
Yes.
and they are better.
Right, right.
A little bit for the moment.
Yes. You know what? As you're talking, I'm thinking there's such a conflict within, you know, and it's so important for us to be able to slow down, you know, hear what's going on within ourselves. And the people that are able to do that on a more frequent basis are able to really take care of themselves in a really appropriate and profound way, really.
Exactly.
That's
People
good.
who are able to calm down and slow down are able to listen to how they feel.
Yes.
And when you can listen to how you feel, and you know, feelings used to be called like something purple hazy, something that's a, you know, cherry on top. Who cares? We don't
Yes.
have time for that.
Yes, yes.
You know, but people who actually listen to their feelings and follow through with their feelings and are not afraid of acting against the law, because you're not going to turn into a criminal just because you listen to your feelings.
Right,
You know,
right.
are well. Those are the people who are balanced, that are peaceful, and those are the people who can give to others in a sustainable way,
Okay.
from the overflow.
Very good. That's beautiful. And as you're talking, I'm thinking that what you're saying is making so much sense. It resonates very well within myself. But what if there's people out there that hear what you're saying, it resonates very well within them, and they're like, well, you know, how do I get there? Like, what do I do? I don't know how to do that.
Yes,
you know,
yes.
it's not just something that we hear and then we just say, oh, that's a good idea. Let me do that. There's people that are struggling and they need some steps, some help to
Yes.
get to that point.
I don't know anybody who is not struggling with this.
Right.
Not really, because I don't know many, you know, gurus or
Right, right.
people who spend their time meditating. Our whole culture indoctrinates us from birth to not listen to how we feel, to help others before you help yourself,
Right.
to be selfless, not selfish. So everybody struggles. And everybody struggles somewhere along the 4 steps.
Okay.
And
Can you just say that again?
everybody
struggles.
struggles
There we go.
somewhere along
Yes.
the 4 steps of self-love.
Okay.
So let me spell out what the 4 steps are, because
Okay.
this is what makes it practical, you see? And again, I didn't come up with this. I was just the observer and the organizer of information.
Yes.
And I call it authenticity therapy. And actually, it's a new school in psychotherapy to make psychotherapy more effective and quicker. But it's also a self-help tool.
Very good.
It's a self-help protocol, so anybody can learn it, and it's easy to learn.
Okay.
There's an acronym, ABCD. These are the 4 steps. So love is
Okay.
not spelled LOVE. It's spelled ABCD.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. That I got you there. Go ahead.
Okay. A is for attention to how you feel.
Okay.
Now, how do you pay attention to how you feel? Our feelings are in our bodies, and we don't choose them. We don't choose our hunger. We don't choose our loneliness. If we had a choice, we would never feel bad.
Right.
And what I'm here to say is that we have to feel bad in order to survive, let alone thrive.
Okay.
Without feeling bad, there is no information to knock us out of our course and make us do something else
Okay.
that will reestablish our balance.
Okay.
Okay? So attention to how you feel in your body, attention to your body's sensations. You can scan your body. Basically, that would be the main tool to do this. To notice sensation, because the body never lies. The body is the very thing that's tied in with nature in the most organic of ways. And it doesn't have any other agenda than to keep us well.
Okay.
Okay? So pay attention to your body's sensations, because every and each feeling is in our bodies in the form of sensation.
Okay.
Feeling is just a synonym for sensation.
Okay.
Emotion is a synonym for feeling and sensation.
So actually, if we have a pain in our body, that's not really bad.
Exactly.
You know, it's not like
exactly.
doomsday.
No, it's
Okay.
the opposite. I'm sorry, unless it's really a part of a chronic illness or chronic acute or acute pain that needs to be numbed to some degree so that the person
Exactly.
can even start listening.
Right. But I mean,
But
pain is a
discomfort.
signal for something's
It's a
going
messenger.
on. Okay.
And as a culture, we have been shooting the messenger by medicating.
Yes.
And by numbing the pain and by calling it the enemy.
Yes.
It's it's the messenger.
Okay.
It's nature's messenger. It's the most sacred of things. It's our best friend because it alerts us to when to do and what to do to reestablish the balance to be well. Because we are living organisms and we are in a constant state of flux. So there is ups and downs.
Yes.
And how do you reestablish the balance? It's by feeling discomfort and quick, oh, I'm tired. Oh, I need to sleep. Oh, now I'm
Exactly.
better. You know?
Very good.
I'm lonely. Are you going to do something about it? I'm sad. What are you going to do about it? Instead of getting over it, suck it up, grin and bear,
Yes.
you know,
Very good.
disconnect.
Yeah.
When you disconnect from your feelings, you get depressed.
That's right.
That's why we are so depressed as a society. We disconnect from our discomfort. When you let yourself feel your discomfort, you can use this ABCD protocol to interview your feelings about what you need to do to feel better.
Right.
Because a lot of times we don't know.
Yeah.
We get distracted, you see? So A, pay attention to your body sensations,
Okay.
notice them, and accept them as the truth. A is for attention acceptance. It's
Okay.
the truth. Whether or not we like it, we don't choose it, it just is.
Right.
You know?
That's
It's like,
excellent.
It's
That's
the weather.
excellent.
It's like the weather.
Yeah.
B,
Okay.
breathe into those sensations. Breathe into your discomfort. Why? Just to stay present with it for a moment, for long enough for it to be able to inform you.
Okay.
So B stands for breath,
Okay.
slow breathing. It stands for self-soothing
Okay.
with positive self-talk. Okay, I have a right to have feelings, and I trust my feelings. Let me just stay here long enough to, okay, this is not going to kill me. It's okay, I got what it takes to just feel. It's okay to feel. Do we feel as a society? I don't think so. I think we are distracted in a million ways from feeling. You either feel or you do.
Yes.
This is a doing society. Unless you feel, you can't be well. Okay? So B is for breath and self-soothing with the discomfort. Okay? So that C, you may communicate with the discomfort in the body. Like you have a headache. Instead of numbing it up with a medicine or something, you could actually ask that pain what it's trying to tell you. How am I feeling? That's communicating with your body sensations. How am I feeling? What do I need to do to feel better? What do I need to think? What do I need to do? What do I need to be like? What do I need to say in order to feel better?
And you know, this obviously takes practice, takes practice. I mean, someone could try exactly what you're saying for the first time and totally get results, totally. They're serious. I want to understand this. They could totally get results, but I do realize that it takes practice.
It does
It takes practice.
It takes skills.
Yeah, and skills, yes.
Yes.
Like what kind of skills?
So each one of the steps, so let me just finish up with the first steps.
Okay, yeah, because I have like a million questions. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
This is good. So we're on
communicate with your body sensations. How am I feeling and what do I need to feel better?
Okay.
What do I need to do? What do I need from myself to feel better right now? Long term, short term. And as you ask the sensation and shut off your mind and don't let it bark, just for a minute, and barge in, and just ask the body, how do I feel and what do I need to feel better? You will get words and images about feelings. Okay, I feel sad, I feel guilty, I feel ashamed, I feel whatever, tired, exhausted, overwhelmed, whatever it is. What do I need from myself to feel better? And you will get words and images about what you need. It's information, it's pure gold. Right. If you just pay attention and know how to shut off your mind, that's a skill, and listen to those words, images, and even urges in your body. Okay? That's C.
Okay.
And D, do it. Do what it says, for God's sake. Do it.
Okay.
Because when you do what it takes to be well, guess what happens? You're well.
Yeah.
And when you do this as a pattern, you're well as a pattern. And what happens when you're well as a pattern? Everybody else around you is well.
Exactly. Exactly, because our interactions with others are totally affected by
They
the
don't
way
have
you
to
feel.
carry you.
Yes.
So this is the opposite of selfish. You take care of yourself, others don't have to do it.
Yes. Yes.
If you don't, others will have to do it.
Okay.
Or they will suffer / they will suffer from your suffering.
Yes. Makes total sense. Total sense. So before we go on, let's just walk through an example of someone that is struggling either with, let's just say, the whole emotional piece, the depression piece, or you pick it, or someone that does have a headache, like a practical, you've done this, you've been doing this for many years. Just give our viewers like a practical example of what this looks like, kind of,
So you give me an example.
Okay. I'm thinking about, actually, I'm thinking, as you were talking, I was thinking about a couple of people that I have encountered, and they're doing very, very well. Then all of a sudden they come to me one day and they're telling me, I've been doing so well. My depression is gone. I've been doing well on my job, or I've been doing well with the kids. And all of a sudden I'm home and I feel this feeling come over me. I don't know where it's coming from. All the joy that I had is gone. What do I do? What? It just came out of the blue.
Yes, yes.
So in that
You see,
instance,
that is a perfect example.
Okay.
And that happens to everybody, okay? The body never lies, and it keeps score of the junk that we carry, of the unresolved things in our psyche. And it will show through sensation or moods or, discomfort or comfort for that matter. The body also shows the good feelings
Right.
by the same token. So first of all, we have to clarify something. Is it a sign of not being well? To not feel good, is that a sign of not being well? You see what I mean?
okay,
Just because you don't feel good, that doesn't mean you're not well.
that's right.
Everybody who's well has feelings, including from exasperation to exhilaration, all your feelings. The healthier you are, the wider your emotional range,
Yes,
or
that's
feeling
right.
range. It doesn't have to be emotional, it can be physical. You have a wide range. That means you're fully alive, okay?
That's another important point. Good. Say that again. That's good. People don't believe that, especially when you're in a place where you're very down emotionally. What you just said was excellent. The fact that the more healthier you are, you probably say it so much you don't even realize, but that was good.
Okay,
the
thank
more
you.
healthier you are, the more of a wide range of emotions that you will feel. That is,
Yes.
that's very key.
That means we are alive.
Yes.
And that's it. Remember, it's all it's nothing but information. These are your friends. These feelings are your friends. They inform you. You feel good, it's information. Good, stay the course.
Yeah.
You feel bad, it's information. Change something. You need something. Not because you're doing something wrong. You need to make a change. You have to reach for something that will help you to feel better.
Yes.
Okay? So just because you feel good, that doesn't mean you are well per se. And just because you feel bad doesn't mean you are not well.
Right.
You feel you are okay, okay? What differentiates a healthy person, a well person, from an unwell person is what you do with when you feel down.
Yes.
What you do with the feeling. The problem is not that you feel bad. The problem can become that you don't acknowledge it, that you don't pay attention,
Right.
that you don't soothe yourself, that you don't communicate, and you don't do what it takes to feel better. When you check out on yourself, because, oh my God, I feel bad, there must be something wrong with me, let me pop something, or drink something, or shop for something, or go to bed, or disconnect from this,
Yes.
you're not going to do what it takes to be well. Then you're not going to be well. You see? But if you do stay present and you do get to the bottom of it and don't freak out, these are just passing things. Don't be afraid of your feelings.
Right.
Don't be afraid of your feelings. They're good. Even though sometimes they're horribly painful. That's the thing. For example, grief.
Yeah.
So what you were talking about You know, when all of a you're fine, everything is good, and all of a sudden something comes over you. That's your subconscious keeping track of something that needs to be addressed.
Very good.
Is it grief? More often than not, it is grief. You know? And grief comes and goes in waves.
Right. Right.
Is it trauma that was not resolved and you are being re-triggered, your body memory of it? That can spoil your mood right then and there, you know.
Out of the blue?
Of course.
Out of the blue.
There's a trigger and you don't even notice it, you see? That's what happens with trauma.
Yes.
I don't know what it is, but it needs to be addressed, you see? What the moment of truth between health and disease is, are you addressing what's going on or are you avoiding it? If you address it, chances are you're going to be well. Because you're on the right track. You are going for it. You're going for the remedy, for an organic, true, real remedy, instead of a substitute.
Okay, very good.
Because all our feelings represent needs.
Right. And
needs are not negotiable.
Right.
We can't explain them away. We can't ignore them. They're just gonna escalate. You know. Once, instead, a lot culturally, you know, in this hemisphere, we reach for very often for substitutes, for wants, to numb the need or to distract from the need. But the need is not going to go away.
And you pointed out in this hemisphere, how do you see a difference? Because you do international work. So how do you see a difference between, you know, how we may handle things here in America and elsewhere?
That's a big question.
I know it's a big question,
yes, but it's a very interesting
so
question. It's very, very important. In fact, I wrote my book, and it came out both in the U.S. and in Hungary at the same time.
Okay.
And I actually had to rewrite some parts of it because it's a different culture.
Okay.
So, specifically in America, people have a harder time than in other countries to address their needs. This is a doing culture. This is a make it happen. This is a self-made man culture. That's the American dream, you see. When you do, you don't feel. So this culture, for the, you know, is prevalently infused with values that not Christian, what is it? Not Catholic. What is the other? Protestant values. Protestant values. Protestant values are work. It's a work ethic.
It's work-based. Okay.
It's work-based. It's do-based. I worship God by being a worker. I don't have to church and go to this huge, fancy, glittery place to be a good person. I can just do my thing as a humble person and fix the shoes and plow the earth, and God will love me because I'm a good worker, you see? Because I'm humble and I do what I need to do. That's the foundation of the Protestant ethic.
Okay.
So it's the Protestants who founded this country. That's, you see, but that makes it harder after we are surviving now, for the most part, harder to thrive.
Yeah.
You know? So in Europe, a lot of European countries are mostly Catholic. It's a very different angle to how to be a good person, you know? Catholics are more likely to let themselves be and forgive themselves for slacking.
Okay.
And they don't necessarily
different.
rush to the conclusion that idle hands are the plaything of the devil, you know?
Yeah, so here in this country, if there is a need, we tend to just do. We have to take care of this thing, just do.
Yes.
Other places, if there's a need, they may slow down a bit and kind of, every place is different, but pretty much get in tune with what's going on, figure out, you know, basically what needs to be done. For example, I went to Africa a couple times. 10 years ago when I went, it was so funny. I was there with a couple of friends and my son came with me, and you know, every day we had something planned to do. Americans, we need to know the plan. We need to know the plan. Okay, when we
Yeah.
get up tomorrow, we're
Yeah.
going to do this.
As if we had any
this
control.
person, I know,
Yeah.
this person's going to take us here and there and everywhere, right?
Yeah.
The Africans, the people in the home that we were staying in, they were just totally cool, calm, and collected. Now, how are we going to get to such and such tomorrow? What are we going to do? How are we going to get there? Calm down. They would say, this is what they would say, calm down, God will provide, don't worry. And we're so ready to plan.
Yeah. So actually it's the notion of control.
Yes.
As if we had control over our lives. We really don't. You know that, in my perception, the only control we really have in life is goes back to what you do with your discomfort. That you have control over.
Okay. And that's the crux of what, we only have a couple minutes right now. That's the crux of what you're talking about.
Yes.
What do we do when discomfort comes our way,
Yeah.
in whatever form? Physical pain, emotional, cuts to the soul,
Yes,
shame, whatever it is.
yes.
What do we do?
Have faith. This is not religious faith. This is faith in life. It's beyond religious faith in a way. Faith in life and in yourself, that no matter what ails you, no matter what the discomfort, there is something that can be done to feel better in a way that really helps, that doesn't just sway you from it and distract you, that actually has, sometimes distraction helps,
Yes,
but
yes.
not always.
Yes.
Most of the time, that's not what really helps.
Right.
Okay? When you're hungry, you can distract yourself from it, but not for too long.
Okay,
You know?
yes,
You're
exactly.
gonna
You have to do
eat.
something about it. Exactly.
Yes. And every feeling is along the same lines.
Yes.
You see? Physical, emotional, spiritual. We have feelings because we have needs, because we have complex human beings. We have according to the Ayurveda, the traditional Indian system of medicine or healing, we have 100 hungers.
Well, humans have needs.
Yes.
We are beings, and
Yeah.
we do have
We are-
needs. Yes.
We are high maintenance, you
Yes.
see. That's a swear word in this country.
High maintenance, yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes, but
Well,
it's true.
It's the truth.
It's true.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to have to stop right now, but you will be coming back to join us for part 2. We're going to tie everything together and talk about relationship love. This has been very informative. We don't have enough time. I have 20 million questions for you. I just really hope that you guys come back next week. Let's learn more from Judith. And listen, don't forget that your wellness matters. Take care of yourself today and every day. And I'll see you next week. Thank you. So at the end, there's music playing. We can't see it. And so the